Hi guys, it is Veronica here. I just wanted to do something a little bit different today, so I'm going to be showing you guys a cook with me video. The dish is called carne con chile. It's one of my husband's favorite Mexican dishes that I have. So I will be cooking it and showing you guys what I put. Now, keep in mind this recipe can be done a lot of different ways. Everybody in different parts of Mexico cook it differently. So what I'll do is I'll link some Pinterest ideas of recipes down below for the same dish, because it's cooked with different meats, different styles, and it's also cooked very differently, as sometimes they add rice to that dish on the side, rice and beans on the side. I'm not doing it that way. I'm just making a regular carne con chile with potatoes con papas. So that is the dish that I'm cooking right now, and I'll show you guys what it is. All right, let's get started. So we got the 2 pounds of steak, we got the cilantro, we got the jalapenos, we got an onion, a white onion, potatoes, pink salt, and also oil, and as well as green tomatoes, guys. So that is what we get. To get started, go ahead and start peeling your potatoes. Now I did use 4 potatoes, which is a lot. So if you want less than that, you can use 3 or 2. That would work. After we're done peeling, we're going to go ahead and start cutting the potatoes. I cut them into smaller pieces just because I like the potatoes smaller, to be smaller size on the actual meat. But you can definitely cut it big pieces, smaller pieces, is up to you. Now after we're done cutting the potatoes, what we're going to go ahead and do is wash those potatoes. Guys, you can wash them before or after. I decide to wash them after. And I'm sorry about the sink. It looks a little dirty over here in the mirror. Okay, now that that is washed, what we're going to go ahead and do is start cutting the onion. Now I just cut half an onion, and then I cut that half into half. But I do add the full half. And now we got the 2 jalapenos. I was going to cut it. I figured the seeds are going to come out, so just take the top off and go ahead and wash that as well and put it on the side. Now we got the green tomatoes. I'm going to go ahead and peel those tomatoes, get the skin off of that, and I will also be rinsing that after. Go ahead and rinse your tomatoes, or tomate verde if you want to say it in Spanish. All right, now I don't know why I cut the cilantro, because the cilantro is going to be on the blender, so you don't necessarily have to cut it down. I don't know why I did that extra step, but if you would like to do that, you can go ahead and do that. If not, just cut a little branch of cilantro. And now that everything is ready, what we're going to do is start the water. And we're going to go ahead and start with the potatoes. We're going to start boiling those babies. All right, and then we're going to get another pot of water. I boil it on high, but we're going to go ahead and get another pot of water and start putting in the onions, the jalapenos, and the green tomatoes all in one to boil about 15-20 minutes. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and start cutting the steak. Now I don't really like the fat on the steak, so I usually try to get rid of that first before I start cutting the rest of the steak. Now I do like to cut it into really small squares. That way it doesn't get too messy when you're trying to eat it. So I cut it into really small squares, and what we're going to go ahead and do is put a teaspoon of oil. I ended up dropping some there. And for some reason I started looking for the spatula after. I was not prepared. Now we're going to go ahead and add the meat. Everything's cooking now, boiling. Now make sure you add some salt to the steak. Now I don't really have measurements for that. I just kind of sprinkle it on, not too much, not too little. And I actually just move it around to make sure that everything is cooking properly. Alright, now while the meat is still cooking, the potatoes are done, and I like my potatoes to be really, really soft, almost to the point that I can make mashed potatoes with them. So now that that is ready, then we're going to go ahead and take that out, drain the water, and let it cool down. So you can see Emma in the background over there, moving around. Alright, now that the tomatoes and the chile is done along with the actual onion, I'm going to go ahead and put it into a blender. Now I do recommend for you to let it cool down before you start blending it, because right now is way too hot. So definitely let it cool down. Once I add the tomatoes, onions, I'm going to go ahead and add some water. I was going to pour it and I was like, I'm going to drop it everywhere. So I just decided to kind of scoop some water in there. Now, you can see me adding some cilantro in there as well. And I only add half of a jalapeno because my husband is a wuss when it comes to that. He does not like spicy food. So I make it more for him than for me. I make the jalapenos separately for me actually. And we're going to go ahead and blend that. I make the jalapenos separately and cook those separately, and then I can eat them with my meal. We're going to go ahead and pour that to the cooked meat. So the meat should already be brown and cooked. So I did leave some more of the tomatoes and some more onion in the actual thing right there. So we're going to go ahead and just pour the rest, put some more water in there, blend the rest of the actual spices. Alright, so now that that is done, we're going to go ahead and pour the rest to the meat as well. Okay, so that is that. We're going to go ahead and add those potatoes if you would like. That's definitely optional if you want potatoes or not. We like it with potatoes because I actually make burritos. So we make the carne con chile burritos for my husband, and he just likes the texture of the potatoes on there. He doesn't really like the rice or beans on the side, so he just eats it straight that way with a tortilla and some cheese. But if you guys want, you guys could always make the actual beans on the side and also rice on the side and have it as a full dish. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and mix everything around, let the actual salsa soak into the meat and to the potatoes before you eat it. And that is it, guys. That is carne con chile. Now again, there's a lot of different ways that you can make this meal. So it is different for every part of Mexico. They make it differently again. So there's definitely a lot of different options that you have when you make this meal. This is just how I make it. And look at little Emma's hand. And that's it, guys. We're done. And now that we made it, of course, we have a huge mess that we have to clean up. But isn't that always, like, this is the aftermath of cooking. Alright guys, that is it. I hope you guys liked it. Again, there will be recipes down below in the description box from Pinterest that I'm going to be saving on there so you guys can look at different ways of cooking this. Now, If you guys like this type of videos, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Go ahead and leave a comment down below. And if you're new, go ahead and subscribe. I do have a lot of other projects that I'll be putting on the vlogs and the videos and other things that I want to be talking about, having conversations about. So again, if you would like to follow me on this journey, go ahead and subscribe below. All right, thanks guys. Till next time. Emma. Dance. 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 Dance, baby. Mama. Nana. Wow, those are beautiful boys you got there. She's singing to you guys.